And today's daily offering are limiting reactant calculations. Really, this is just a variation on reacting mass calculations, just a little extra on. So, first of all, what is a limiting reactant? A chemical reaction stops when one of the reactants is used up. The substance which is used up is called the limiting reactant because it determines how much product is made. The amount of product is directly proportional to the limiting reactant. So what that means is the greater the amount of limiting reactant you've got, the greater the amount of product. The reactant which is not used up is said to be in excess. So those are the key things. Now, how do we do this? Well, quite straightforward. First of all, you always start with a balanced equation. From that then, you need to work out 1 mole of the reactant and 1 mole of the product you want. Next thing then always is to work out the moles of substances you have the mass of, and then step 4, work out the moles of the product formed using the equation. Similar steps to what we've used in reacting mass. And then finally, use a mole equation to work out the mass of the product. So let's go with a simple example. So, as per normal, right. So in the question we've got here, zinc oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid to give you zinc chloride and water. The question is asking what mass of zinc chloride is formed when 4.05 grams of hydrochloric acid. 4.05 grams of zinc oxide is reactive with this excess hydrochloric acid. So, hydrochloric acid, nothing to do here. Obviously then, the zinc oxide is a limiting reactant because it's the one which will be used up. So, as we said, first steps, work out 1 mole of what we're starting with. So, 1 mole zinc oxide. Now, using periodic table, relative atomic mass of zinc is 65, oxygen is 16. So that comes to 81. So, moles zinc oxide. So, we use our old favourite again, moles. It'll be the mass divided by the mass of 1 mole. So, moles of zinc oxide, we've given 4.05 grams, and 1 mole is 81. So, 4.05 divided by 81 equals 0.05 moles. Now then, we need to do the same with zinc chloride. So 1 mole zinc chloride will equal 65 plus 2 times 35.5, which comes to 71, which comes to 136 grams. Now, so we can see from the equation the ratio of zinc oxide to zinc chloride is 1 to 1. So 1 mole zinc oxide goes to 1 mole zinc chloride. So 0.05 moles zinc oxide will form 0.05 moles zinc chloride because the ratios are the same, 1 to 1. So finally then, to get the mass of zinc chloride, we come back to our old favourite again. Mass equals the number of moles times the mass of 1 mole. So the mass of zinc chloride equals the number of moles, 0.05 times the mass of 1 mole, 136. Now, times 136 equals 6.8 grams. So, this is just really using the words there. I'm going to make the next one slightly harder. Now, if we look at the next one. In this reaction, magnesium oxide reacts with sulfuric acid to form magnesium sulfate and water. It's telling us that 6 grams of magnesium oxide was reacted with 19.6 grams of sulfuric acid. Which is the limiting reactant and how much is unreacted? So, what we've got to do here is work out the moles of each. So let's start with magnesium oxide. So 1 mole magnesium oxide. So magnesium for our periodic table would be 24, oxygen would be 16. So 24 plus 16 comes to 40 grams. Now then, what we want to get is the moles of magnesium oxide. So moles, as we can see, will be mass divided by the mass of 1 mole. So moles MgO equals the mass 6 divided by 40, and that comes out as 0.15 moles. Now we need to do the same thing with sulfuric acid. So 1 mole H2SO4 equals 2 hydrogens will be 2, sulfur will be relative atomic mass is 32, oxygen is 16, 4 times 16, 64, plus 32 is 96, plus 2 is 98 grams. Now, moles H2SO4 exactly the same way as we did magnesium oxide, same as normal. The mass divided by the mass of 1 mole. So the mass we're given is 19.6. The mass of 1 mole is 98. So 19.6 divided by 98 equals 0.2. 0.2 moles. Now then, the limiting reactant will be the magnesium oxide. And the reason why it will be the limiting reactant is because we've got the smallest number of moles. So the magnesium oxide will determine what is produced. Now, the equation is a 1:1 ratio. So that means 0.15 moles of magnesium oxide will react with 0.15 moles of sulfuric acid. So unreacted sulfuric acid will equal 0.2 minus 0.15, which will equal 0.05 moles. Now, to get that mass, again, old favourite, back to here again. To get mass, this time it is moles times the mass of 1 mole. So, unreacted sulfuric acid will be the number of moles, 0.05, times the mass of 1 mole, 98. Now, 0.05 times 98 equals 4.9 grams. So that is the hardest version of limited reactants that you can get, and these are all the various forms. I hope you're able to follow that, because there's nothing really new there.